If you've ever said, I just need to get clearer on my next step, I just need to get more clarity, this video is for you. Because most experienced entrepreneurs don't actually lack options. You probably have multiple ideas, multiple directions, multiple opportunities. The real problem isn't a lack of choices. And when we speak about getting clear, it's as if it is outside of us, not something that we can just firmly decide. Now, the reason why that becomes hard is because you don't have a clear picture of what you're actually building. And without that, every decision feels heavier. It feels more uncertain. It feels riskier. It feels unaligned because an aligned focus hasn't been created. So when your future isn't clearly defined, everything feels important. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels possible, which that sounds amazing, right? Possible is good. But when it stays in the land of possible, it's like it's held outside of us somewhere in the future that we never quite get to. It creates also quiet kind of overwhelm. When everything feels possible, it starts to create this little overwhelm and we start asking, what should I do? Should I add a new offer? Should I raise my prices? Should I hire? Should I pivot? Should I scale this or start something new? We start making decisions based on that possibility instead of a clear target. So every decision again feels like a risk. Then what happens? We research longer, think harder, revisit decisions, stay busy. Or, as many entrepreneurs do, we start to turn inward and think that we've done something wrong, or maybe we're just not cut out for this. We don't stay clear. And it's because we're not holding a clear vision in front of us, which is honestly pretty unfair. So it's never because you don't know enough. And let's be honest, we can't know everything, but we're not supposed to. We can't know until we figure out, which means moving forward towards our clear vision, one step at a time, where the gaps are. And then we fill them because you've been doing it your whole life. You recognize that you need a new skill, so you learn it. You recognize that you need a new product or service, so you buy it. You recognize that you would rather use your genius in your genius zone. And so you delegate something that you need. You bring in team members, you collaborate. But that is identified when we're moving towards a really clean vision. So it's not that you are, again, it's not because you don't know enough, because not knowing enough isn't a problem, but it's because you don't know what you're optimizing for. Most people ask, what should I do next? But the more useful question is, what am I actually building? Not just your business model, your business and your life. Because if your vision is only about revenue, you'll keep making decisions that might create success, but they'll also create exhaustion and disconnect and burnout. Clarity comes truly when you define how you want to work, how much you want to work, what you want your days to feel like, how your business supports your life, and vice versa. When that picture gets specific, the steps become more obvious. They start to reveal themselves. I see this all the time. A client says, I think I need a new offer. But when we zoom out and ask, what does your ideal week actually look like? What is the vision that we're moving toward? We realize they don't need more offers, they need fewer clients, at a higher value. Or they don't need to grow, they need to simplify and systematize. Or they don't need a new program, they need to fully commit to the one that's already working. The next step wasn't unclear, the destination was. And when the destination becomes clear, the strategy organizes itself. This is where identity comes in because the version of you running your business today is making decisions based on what you've already built. But your next level requires you to start thinking like someone who is already living that future. Not can I do this, but if I were already running the business and life in my vision, the business and life that I want, what would I be prioritizing? What would I not be doing anymore that I used to? What would I simplify, systematize, delegate, hire? Clarity isn't about predicting the future. It's about expanding the picture enough that your decisions stop being reactive and start being of the building embodied version of your future self. Here's a simple way to start. Instead of asking, what should I do next? Ask yourself, if my business were exactly where I want it to be 1 year from now, how much revenue is it generating? How many clients do I have? What am I actually doing each day? What am I no longer doing? And how does my work support my life? Then ask, what decision would that version of me make today? Not the most urgent one, the most aligned one. If your next step has been feeling unclear lately, it's usually not because you don't know enough. Though, again, not knowing enough is not a problem. We are in, we have so much information available to us these days, right? It's not because of a lack of information. It's because your identity and your vision haven't fully caught up to each other yet. I created the self trust identity map to help you see where you're leading from now and how aligned you are with your next level and what your business is actually asking of you next. You'll find the link in the description because clarity doesn't come from more information. It comes from seeing yourself and your future more clearly. You don't find your next step by thinking harder. You find it by getting clear enough about where you're going that the decision makes itself.